Right, I'm here in the kitchen making banana bread to teach Roberto how to make bread. First thing you need, let's go over the ingredients. You need 3 bananas and you need 1 cup of sugar. You beat the bananas and the sugars together. You let it sit for 20 minutes. And whoops, looks like that. Okay, you also need a 1/2 cup of butter, 2 eggs, a teaspoon of soda, a tablespoon of water, 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt. And you can add nuts or chocolate chips to the recipe. So to the bananas and the sugar that's set for 20 minutes, you're going to add a 1/2 cup of butter. Okay, so here's a 1/2 cup of butter, 1 stick, and I'm going to cut it into little pieces so it gets incorporated in a little bit easier. I'm also going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And it should be ready to go about the same time that I get done mixing my batter. I'm going to turn that up. I want the butter to get broken into little tiny pieces. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I've got a teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda is different than baking powder. Baking powder does not require an acid to create air and make the bread rise, where baking soda, you have to have some acid for it to work. The acidity comes from the bananas. So, mixing together a tablespoon of water and a teaspoon of soda. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and show you. That looks pretty good. I'm going to show you what the mix looks like after the butter's been added to it. Okay, with flour, just regular all-purpose flour. And a lot of recipes, when I went to school to learn how to cook, you had to sift everything. Now, I don't know anybody who sifts their flour anymore. So what we recommend to do, I learned this when I worked at Kellogg's company in the test kitchen. Most consumers just kind of dip their measuring cup in there, but to make it light and fluffy, you want to just spoon your flour gently into your cup, overfilling it a little bit. And you're going to take, I've got wax paper on my counter, you're going to take a straight edge and level it off. And I need 2 cups of flour. So repeat that one more time. Okay, got 2 cups of flour. To the flour, you're going to add a teaspoon of the baking powder. And a teaspoon of salt. Okay. gonna stir that together. Okay, from here on out it goes pretty quick. First thing you add your water and your baking soda. Stir it up. And then I'm going to add 2 eggs, and I'm going to crack my eggs into the same bowl just so I don't get shells into my bread. Good job, no shells. Clean it up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna take it up, butter up, and I've got some butter that's kind of sticking to the beater. You can use a hand mixer. You don't have to use a stand mixer. It just makes it a little bit easier. Goes a little bit quicker. Make sure there's not any sugar sticking to the bottom of the pan. And now I'm gonna lock my beater, my mixer down, and I'm gonna stir my dry ingredients together. And gradually add that. Okay, I've got some flour on the sides of my bowl, so I'm going to need to scrape that down. And I think I'll just go ahead and incorporate the rest of the flour by stirring it in by hand. I take a little bit more time. Make sure there's no flour left on the sides, nothing on the bottom of the bowl. I've got a few chocolate chips left here. Whoops. I'm going to fold those in. And a very important step is to spray the pan. You can grease it with the shortening or lard. Coat it evenly with cooking spray or with your lard or shortening. And then your pan should be about 2/3 the way full. There it goes. And just remember, I need to take the rack out of my oven because the bread's gonna rise up So I want my so my timer, it's not quite preheated. Once it gets to temperature, I will put it in. I'm going to bake it for probably at least an hour, and I'll post a picture of what the final product looks like.